What was supposed to be a night of celebration turned into disaster after 4 friends who were all drunk left the bar in the city without a designated driver. Designate a driver. Don't drink and drive.
This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 25th day of February in the year 2025. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here is what we're tracking tonight. The mayor of Georgetown, Alfred Mentore, has announced that the Georgetown City Council will write to the investor of the $300 million planned Qatari Hotel Assets Group to officially bring to the company's attention the dispute over the land earmarked for the hotel along Carifesta Avenue. Earlier this month, the council had given the government a 1-week ultimatum to respond to its concerns over the usage of the land. Mentore had warned that failure to respond to the council's concern would have resulted in legal action. At today's statutory meeting, he told the council that based on legal advice received, the investor should be written before legal action is initiated. By a majority vote, the council agreed to have the mayor write the Qatari company Assets Group as against the town clerk. The dispute over the ownership and usage of the land, which was a gift to the city of Georgetown for recreational purposes by former plantation owners in 1887, remains unresolved, although the council had penned a letter to the president almost a year ago on the issue. According to the Guyana Lands and Surveys Commission, the land, which is located at lots 1 and 2 Plantation Thomas Lands, has been the property of the state since 1966. But the council maintains the land belongs to the city. In February last year, the mayor presented the council with a copy of a transport issued to the municipality, which was in the possession of the National Archives. The mayor has said that while the municipality is not against development, the council has the right to defend its property. He said there are systems to follow even in the execution of development projects. The government, while maintaining that the land belongs to the state, has said the hotel will add to the country's tourism product. The hotel, when completed, is expected to include 260 rooms and 150 apartments, along with other facilities. More news coming up in just a moment.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. I can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Your own home is so much more than just 4 walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Mobil 1 is more than oil. it's many oils. It transforms at the molecular level. When cold, it's thicker than honey. When hot, it's thinner than water. Mobil 1 adapts and readapts to last longer. 16,000 kilometers between oil changes. That's your engine evolved.
Sol Guyana is the authorized distributor of Mobil lubricants.
Turning our attention now to the oil and gas industry. Vice President Barrett Jagdeo has stated that it is unclear whether there are any financial implications as a result of the gas energy project being further delayed. The government's flagship project, which includes a 300-megawatt power plant and a natural gas liquids facility at Wales, began in 2022. However, since then it has faced multiple delays and is now scheduled to be completed next year. At a recent press conference, Mr. Jagdeo said, despite those delays, the project will be completed.
Whenever this project, it will be completed and it would yield phenomenal benefits for Guyana. It's going to be completed, and as you heard what I said before, if it's delayed a bit, we'll explain it to the people of the country, they'll understand it. The project is ongoing, it would yield benefits. And
the Vice President also said there could possibly be some impact on the cost of the project, but that is still to be determined.
at this stage, we are not clear about that. It could be limited. We're trying to minimize the financial implications, but every time you have a delay in a project, there is an increased financial implication. For example, you would have to extend the management team, the supervision team, even if the cost of the project doesn't increase to the contractor. But if you have to pay the team supervising them to stay on for a longer period. So any project that is delayed would have those costs associated with them.
Even as the current project faces delays, the government, together with the Stabroek Block operator, ExxonMobil Guyana, and its co-venturers, is considering a second gas-to-energy project that would see the utilization of gas resources in the southeast portion of the Stabroek Block. In justifying the need for a second gas-to-energy project, the Vice President said once the first project is completed, the demand for cheaper and more reliable sources of energy will grow even more.
By the time this project comes on stream, we will need every bit of the 300 megawatts. Every bit of it. So remember, a number of people are self-generating. GPL now supplies between 170 and at one stage over 200 megawatts we were putting in the peak period. We estimate that private generation could be another 100 megawatts. If all switch, because it will be cheaper power now, they can't compete. Like if you're generating from a generator, you can't compete with the government cost. It would be like 11 cents per kilowatt hour. And the going cost, if you have to buy fuel now, is 30 cents per kilowatt hour. We are subsidizing it, so it's 22 cents per kilowatt hour.
Mr. Jagdeo said the country's growth within the next 2 to 3 years would require additional power to support new and evolving sectors. An aluminum plant, a data center, and the fertilizer plant are among projects that are being considered. According to Mr. Jagdeo, the second gas energy project will be financed through a power purchase agreement.
So we believe we can get a power purchase agreement with a company making all the investments, taking all the risks for the second power plant, and still get the power at a price where we can sell it at 11 cents per kilowatt hour, the additional 300, and still make money on that part too.
But Alliance for Change executive member and former head of the Environmental Protection Agency, Dr. Vincent Adams, said it is irresponsible of the government to pursue a second gas-to-energy project when the first is still to be completed.
Folks, we have yet not even learned how to handle the first one of its kind, and we seem to be irresponsibly jumping into another disaster. As a matter of fact, we can't even execute the most simplistic task of putting down lantern posts around Georgetown, having them falling all over the place, left, right, and center, and not to mention bringing in not one, but two power ships. But blackouts get worse by the day.
At a press conference last Friday, Dr. Adams also said the government could be heading towards another disaster that is likely to cost taxpayers billions of dollars. He said after a lot of song and dance, the vice president now admits that the government is unclear about the financial implications for the delays. He said it is clear that there was no proper plan in place before the start of the first project. ExxonMobil Guyana is hoping for at least 5 billion barrels of oil from its ongoing project offshore Guyana, the company's president Alastair Rutledge has indicated. During a recent interview with the Oil Now website, Mr. Rutledge noted that while there are varying figures about the estimates in the Stabroek block, the company is moving full steam ahead to move the estimated resources into developed resources. It is estimated that some 11 billion barrels of oil may be in the Stabroek block.
The number that's most important is how do we move estimated ultimate recovered resource to developed resource, to proved and developed resource, which is much more meaningful. There's always a degree of a set of key assumptions about what the future may hold, what sort of developments, but moving those forward and materializing the development, getting to the final investment decision is what moves that resource into development. And we've now got to the point where with the projects that have been sanctioned, we're approaching 5 billion barrels of developed resource, which is a significant step forward for the country.
The increase in development, he added, will be significant for Guyana. Further, the CEO stated that although there has been a slight dip in commercial discoveries offshore Guyana, he's hopeful for a turnaround, noting that it is still the early days yet for the local oil industry.
I mean, that's what we're working towards is, can we find additional plays? I mean, what we've established is a very good understanding of certain plays in the particularly central southeast portion of the block. As you're aware, we have drilled some other exploration wells, what we call rank exploration wells, trying to test different plays in other parts of the Stabroek block, and indeed ExxonMobil's drilled in the Kanji and the Kaitour blocks too. But this is early days in a new frontier basin.
The ExxonMobil Guyana president also explained that the company is seeking to expand its investment portfolio in Guyana with a large-scale gas project, which is set to provide natural gas to shore and export liquefied natural gas.
Guyana, get ready for Gospel Fest 2025 Vintage Praise, 7 p.m. on Mesh Night at the National Exhibition Center, featuring Papa San. Jesus, my Savior, I love you. Backed by his full band, alongside Guyana's own Samuel Midas. Sherilyn Maloney. And many more. Extra early bird tickets are $3,000. Early bird $3,500. Regular tickets $4,000. Children under 10 $2,000. VIP tickets $20,000. Tickets are on sale at locations across the country. Papa San will be in Guyana on Mesh Night for Gospel Fest 2025.
more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Ready to up your game? Ready to up your game? Win big with over 60 epic prizes. A brand new PS5, Nintendo Switch, iPhone 16 Pro Max, Apple smartwatch, and the hottest earbuds from Apple and Samsung. Plus, we are giving away thousands in phone credit and a whole year supply of Buster or Turbo Energy drink. Here's how. Buy any Buster or Turbo Energy drink, find the code starting with BB and enter online or on WhatsApp. Visit us on Facebook or Instagram at Turbo_Caribbean or Buster Guyana for all the details. Don't just play. Up your game with Buster and Turbo Energy.
As Guyana celebrated its 55th anniversary as a republic over the weekend, President Irfan Ali declared that the country is standing safe and strong while soaring to prosperity. In his Republic address at the national flag-raising ceremony at Parliament buildings, the President said Guyana's greatest achievements are still ahead.
Our republic stands today safe and strong. We are a nation soaring to prosperity. Our democracy is robust. Our sovereignty and territorial integrity are being safeguarded. World-class social services are being developed. Life is improving and will continue to do so for every citizen. Our people are better off. Our greatest achievements are still ahead of us. The most glorious days of our nation are yet to unfold.
Guyana gained its republic status in 1970, moving away completely from the British monarchy 4 years after gaining independence. 55 years later, President Ali said the country continues to face challenges, but as a nation, it is important to not just overcome those challenges, but to win.
We must not only confront the challenges, but win every day for every single citizen, for our country, our future, our Caribbean, our region, our CARICOM, our South America, because we recognize in this republic that we are part of an integrated movement. We are part of the globe in which we are committed. We are committed to the values of all the organizations we embrace. Those values that are embedded in the rule of law, in democracy, in respect for each other. Those are the values always support, propagate, and advance as a nation.
The President also paid tribute to the men and women of the Guyana Defense Force who continue to defend the Republic. He highlighted the bravery of the soldiers who recently came under attack during a patrol near the border with Venezuela. 6 Guyanese soldiers were shot by a suspected Venezuelan criminal gang. They all survived.
Recently, we have seen the pride, we have seen the confidence, and we have seen the skill and also the commitment of our soldiers on our borders and in our border location. And tonight, I want us to applaud all those who are serving on our borders, those who are keeping us safe, and those who are sacrificing from their own families to ensure that all of us, all of Guyana, remain safe and that our territorial integrity, every inch of the land that belongs to Guyana, every inch of our exclusive economic zone will and must remain with the people of Guyana, this generation and all the generations to come.
The President said his government is building a Guyana that works for all its people, and one in which prosperity will be achieved for every Guyanese and every family and community. The flag-raising ceremony was punctuated with a cultural display by a number of artists and school children and the parade by the joint services. The parliamentary opposition was not invited to the flag-raising ceremony. The Ministry of Culture, through the Department of Public Information, later apologized way after midnight for not inviting the opposition, while declaring that it was an oversight. The opposition has said it was deliberate. Let's tell you now that the Executive Director of the Guyana National Bureau of Standards, Trevor Basu, believes local businesses are increasingly improving their standards and quality, while also seeking certification. At the launch of the 5th National Quality Awards this morning, the GNBS Executive Director also said for last year alone, the GNBS approved a total of 33 standards, while improving technical assistance to 79 local businesses and organizations.
We provided technical assistance to 79 organizations, that is helping those organizations to become certification ready. I'm saying all this to let you know that more and more businesses and organizations are recognizing the need and the benefits of embracing standards, which results in quality output, which results in more businesses and loyal customers.
Additionally, almost 1,000 persons benefited from technical training in various areas, including quality management systems and health and safety.
Added to that, 924 persons would have benefited from training from the GNBS in 2024 in areas ranging from quality management system to health and safety, among a number of other areas.
Some 28 businesses, including a number of laboratories, were also certified by the GNBS in 2024. Basu said based on the numbers seen last year, businesses are improving their standards and quality. He said this is also reflective in the biennial National Quality Awards, with the number of participants more than doubling in 2023. The awards provide businesses with bragging rights, but also the opportunity to showcase their commitment to quality and standards. The majority of businesses that have participated in the awards are members of the Guyana Manufacturing and Services Association. The president of the GMSA, Ramzi Ali, said due to the advances made by the GNBS, companies including small businesses can be accredited locally, as against seeking external certification. He also said the Made in Guyana certification mark is among the laudable achievements.
This kind of program, many of the large companies might not look at it very favorably because they would say to themselves, okay, we are internationally recognized and so on. That's fine, nothing wrong with that. It's good to have international recognition. My company has. But I really would like to encourage, and I'm going to do this from the GMSA and the other BSOs to really champion the smaller businesses in this country to get on board with this program, because it's important for their businesses when you can say, look, I participated in this system and I was given this award. It will help their products, it will help their companies, it will help them to develop.
The National Quality Awards is set for October as part of National Quality Week. Businesses in the manufacturing, services, professional, tourism and financial, small businesses and agro-processing industries are being invited to participate. A Georgetown businessman, Marlon De Silva, remains in police custody and is likely to face charges in the coming days for the shooting death of his 27-year-old reputed wife, Kenisha Vaughn. The woman was shot multiple times to the body on Saturday night by the businessman at their Diamond East Bank de Marara home during an argument. A statement from the Guyana Police Force indicated that the 32-year-old businessman arrived at home at around 8 o'clock on Saturday night after spending several hours at a popular city bar. On arrival, the man got into an argument with his wife, allegedly over her calling him while he was out with friends to tell him it was time to come home. The police said the man slapped the woman during the argument and told investigators that she armed herself with a knife in retaliation and was charging towards him when he whipped out his licensed firearm and shot her multiple times. The police said the suspect summoned the police as his wife, who was also the mother of their young child, laid bleeding on the floor. She was rushed to the Diamond Hospital where she passed away while being treated for multiple gunshot wounds. The police said 12 entry and exit wounds were discovered. During their visit to the murder scene, detectives said they discovered 4 9mm casings and 3 suspected projectiles. The husband was taken into custody immediately on Saturday night. A breathalyzer test was carried out on the man, and the results showed an 83% alcohol content, while the legal prescribed limit is 35%. The investigations are ongoing tonight.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guy Oil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guy Oil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guy Oil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
What was supposed to be a night of celebration turned into disaster after 4 friends who were all drunk left the bar in the city without a designated driver. Designate a driver. Don't drink and drive.
Cybersecurity is essential for every organization. By educating your team on its importance, you equip them to protect your business, sensitive data, and minimize the risk of cyber attacks. Discover how Bravo Stronghold can safeguard your business. Visit us at booth 57 during the Guyana Energy Conference and Supply Chain Expo, February 18 to the 21st at the Guyana Marriott Hotel.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall in the region. Support for Brazil's President Luiz Lula da Silva has dipped sharply and now trail his disapproval rating, as CNT-MTA poll showed on Tuesday, the latest in a series of surveys pointing to views of the leader turning negative. The poll comes as Latin America's largest country gears up for a presidential election next year, with voters increasingly worried about creeping consumer prices. Lula, as the Brazilian president is known, is weighing a potential run for re-election, but the scenario remains unsettled as health concerns for the 79-year-old president grow, and his main right-wing rival, former President Jair Bolsonaro, has been barred from public office. The CNT-MDA poll showed that 44% of respondents see the Lula administration as negative, up significantly from 31% in a November survey. Meanwhile, those with a positive view dropped to 29% from 35% previously. Regarding Lula's performance as president, 55% disapprove, up from 46% in November, while 40% approve, slipping from 50% in the previous poll. A Kenyan police officer was killed Sunday in Haiti, north of the capital, Port-au-Prince, the first casualty since the Kenyan-led security mission arrived in the Caribbean country in June 2024, the mission's authorities said. The multinational security support mission to Haiti said in a statement that the Kenyan officer was injured during an operation and was airlifted to a hospital where he died. The mission spokesperson told Reuters that Sunday's casualty was the first the mission has suffered since the UN-backed anti-gang force arrived in the country, where rampant gang violence has displaced more than 1 million people. The officer was killed during a confrontation with gang members, the spokesperson wrote in a statement. The death on Sunday came amid a surge in gang-related violence in the metropolitan area of Port-au-Prince over the last week. And finally tonight, international news. The United Nations Security Council on Monday adopted a U.S. draft resolution on the 3rd anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine that takes a neutral position on the conflict as U.S. President Donald Trump seeks to broker an end to the war. The short resolution reflects Trump's upending of U.S. policy on Ukraine after taking office last month and his more conciliatory stance towards Russia. In contrast, former President Joe Biden's administration led efforts at the United Nations to support Ukraine throughout the war. Russia's UN ambassador acknowledged constructive changes in the U.S. position on the conflict. He told the council the resolution was not an ideal one, but a starting point for future efforts towards peaceful settlement. The 15-member UN Security Council had been deadlocked throughout the war and unable to take any action because Russia holds a veto. But the 193-member General Assembly has repeatedly supported Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity and called for a just, lasting, and comprehensive peace in line with the UN Charter. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall, wishing you a blessed evening.